some comments from friends of hers, people whose lives he touched. And these memories just march us back through time. The first one I want to share is Christina Linton, Simpson University, remembering some times there. What sticks out most in my memory is that when Herb moved on to other colleges, he still kept his connections. He would send me little notes asking, "How are you, my friend?" Just like the cards he would leave in the inbox at work when he worked with me. Herb was about people like no one I've ever known. He walked the walk. The next one comes from Darlene Myrick, Cox College in Missouri. I remember meeting her for the first time in an interview and walking away thinking, what a great boss he would be. I was hired by this wonderful man and my life was never the same again. It was the only job I ever had where I loved coming in to work every morning. Greeted by his sweet smile and his gorgeous blue eyes and kind words every morning, no matter how busy he was. The next comes from Merrill Nix, Montreat College in North Carolina. I doesn't pronounce it right. Herb was a mentor, friend, and possibly the world's greatest boss. What a compliment. He was a great example of how a leader can motivate and support others to grow and learn. Herb was a wonderful person to have on your team and didn't even mind when we made him wear Mickey Mouse hats. Here's some memories from some students of his from Granger, Washington in the late 70s and early 80s. Brad and Craig Carpenter write about their coach and their teacher. Mr. Tolbert, as we called him as coach and teacher at Granger High, was a young man when he first entered the halls of Granger High School. As students and athletes, we all found out soon this young man was dedicated to integrity and pursuit of excellence, both in sports and in the classroom. Faith was an important part of his life then, and as we learned later also. Herb never preached of his own goodness, but he was instrumental in leading many of us young ones to the one who is and who provides our goodness. Herb had a way about him that was gentle yet firm. He could be hard on us, but also we knew he was a true friend, and we all respected him as a mentor. If you had a question about anything and he didn't know it, he always said, "You know, I don't know the answer, but let me look into it and I'll tell you what I find out." And he always did. Herb was humble yet forthright, never promoting himself, but always interested in those around him. And he loved a good belly laugh. He did. As humor was his way to glue together the bond with those who held here. Brad writes, Herb was my senior year basketball coach at Granger, and he was tasked with putting together a ragtag bunch of seniors, juniors, and a few sophomores as a team. He accomplished that well. Herb's affiliation with the Northwest basketball camps was strong in those days. Many of those Granger athletes still look to the lifelong values that Herb adhered to. Craig goes on to remember, Herb coached Craig and Eva. Eva must have been a sister or cousin. In high school track, and Eva in volleyball. Herb coached Craig at the state discus competition. Herb couldn't throw a disc worth beans, but he learned from films that successfully conveyed the technique. Craig and Tom Carpenter went to Washington State University one summer with Herb. Macaroni and cheese dinners were the economy dinner in those days. Craig remembers Herb laughing really hard one night. They were walking from their house back to campus while passing Greek Road. I don't know what Greek Road was. car passed them that looked like it had hit a pole with a big dent in it. Tom said, that guy ran into me on the way home last night from the gym. Herb hit the ground laughing with his contagious laugh. On each weekend from summer school, Craig would give Herb the 3-hour ride back to his family in Granger. Often during these trips, Herb would ask Craig to go over for an adventurous hike in the wilderness. And once, unknowingly, into the Hanford nuclear reservation. Helicopters and security made sure they made it back to the car. The Carpenter clan can verify that the positive impact that Herb had as a young man in the Granger community. We are grateful God sent him our way.